Phil and Will are back. We got some big news this week with the Survivor Second Chance season, really. We just got a lot of twists added and all that stuff. No big cast reveal this time, obviously, because everybody knew it, but still, it was some exciting stuff for, a month out of Survivor and get you more amped for it. I mean, we're just going to go over a lot of the big twists and stuff, and we're kind of happy this happened because this one fell in our lap, as Will said, and now we have something to really talk about, and these are some exciting things here.
Yeah,
Will, say something.
I didn't know what we were really going to do this week, and then just it seems like all at once, all this new information just came out, and we got to talk about it. It's a lot of big stuff. It's not just little stuff that we're going to be filling time with here. There's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, so I'm looking forward to it. What did we have planned for this week? I don't think we really had anything. It was kind of up in the air. I
We were
think
talking about the first boost and stuff. I mean, we'll probably still do that at some point, but
maybe in the off season, because I think now we're just there's so much stuff coming out now. It's crazy how much coverage Survivor's getting, because I mean, with the internet, everything, it's just such a niche audience, and it's just there are people that want to read it and people that want to listen, and we thank you for listening, and it's an exciting time right now. It really is.
yeah, we're finally almost there. I mean, it's September in what, 5 days, 4 days, something like that. We're almost there. It's almost time for Survivor. But let's talk. I guess we'll talk one that we've constantly mentioned. I guess I know we could go in chronological order, but screw that. One that we've constantly mentioned is the fact that there could be a dissolve, and it seems that Jeff Probst all but solidified that there's going to be a dissolve this year.
No, it's 100%. It's Planet
Yeah.
Buff is to blame.
Okay, because Jeff had hinted in either an article with Dalton Ross or Gordon Holmes, I think it was Dalton Ross, where he said we're mixing it up right away as soon as we can because we don't want these. We want it to be hard on these people so that they always feel like they're constantly fighting for it. And that pretty much made me say, "Oh, here comes the dissolve." But if you're saying that it definitely happened, I believe you. I just never checked Planet Buff.
Okay, yeah. So on Planet Buff, they officially released the buffs for season 31 Survivor Second Chance, and it has the Takeo and Bayonne, and then it has Angkor, which is a yellow buff, and it says the tribe name on the buff. So, I mean, some people originally thought, well, hey, that's the merge buff. That doesn't mean anything. But the name of the merge buff is never on the actual buff because the survivors come up with it themselves.
Yeah.
So this is a third tribe. It is all but confirmed. There will be a tribe dissolve. The only thing to talk about now, is it going to happen at 18? Is it going to happen at 15? Or do you think they might make it uneven and it could happen, it could happen at 17, it could happen at 16?
I think that they're going to do it at 18. I think that they're going to do it right away. I think that they wanted to go from 2 tribes to 3, but they wanted to get the biggest cast they could. So I think that as soon as those first 2 people are voted off, they're just itching to get to 3 tribes because that's worked for them so well the last bunch of times they've done it. I mean, if you look at the seasons since Philippines, the seasons that have started with 3 tribes have been better than the seasons that started with 2. That's just how it's been. So we'll see how this goes. But they definitely want to go to 3 tribes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be at 18. Also, 15 is just a little late, especially when you're starting with 20. So yeah. I'm definitely, and they want to get them early too, boom.
Oh yeah.
So I think who does this help and who does this hurt? Do you want to go through that? I think it helps Abby Maria and Cass the most.
Yeah, because now they could find themselves not if they're not the first boot, or if their tribe doesn't lose right away, they could find themselves on a tribe where it's hey, now you need that 4th person because a small tribe, there's nowhere to hide. So you might say, hey, we can use Cass and we can use Abby Maria as a number now instead of getting rid of them right away. So I could definitely see that. I almost wish we would have done our bootless thing a little bit at a different time now.
Yeah. And our fantasy draft and pretty much everything.
I mean, yeah. I was kind of bracing for a dissolve because I had a feeling that they were going to want to. Hold on, I'm pulling up where I actually put my how I actually did the God, there's so many Excel files. I'm trying to pull up the bootless challenge between you and me, and I want to see who I really think who I think really changed, because
it also helps Abby Maria and Cass in the sense that once it goes to 3, your chances of going to tribal council go down.
A lot.
Less people, only 1 tribe is going. And so if there's 18 people, only 6 are going. If there's 15, only 5 are going. So it's really helpful in that way too. You might find a tribe that just doesn't go after the swap.
And I
or the
think it helps
result.
people like Steven, Spencer, and Joe who come in with targets on their back, because now if they can end up even either on the same tribe, or if they can end up on two of those three that just don't lose, I mean, their chances go way up. And I think somebody like a Keith or a Wu or even a Kelly Wentworth who might have just slid by because they were underestimated, all of a sudden now they're in a little bit more trouble, because if they end up on the wrong side of the numbers really early, or they end up after a tribe swap where they end up with only one person from their tribe and four from the other, and the four from the other say, hey, screw it, let's get rid of them. I think that it hurts people like that. So this really will be interesting to see happen. I mean, we've never seen this happen where it goes from 2 to 3. We did see it go from 1 to 2 one time, which was dumb. That was back in Fiji. But we've never seen it go from 2 to 3. So this should be interesting to see play out and develop.
Yeah. So do you like this? Do you think this is a good move? I'm happy about it. This will make the game more interesting. I'm excited for it. Like when you read the news or when you heard that, I guess maybe you're finding out that it's 100% confirmed now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it as like a fan?
I like it a lot, because my biggest thing with every season of Survivor is that if it's predictable, it drops. It can't be predictable. These seasons can't be predictable. I know last season was the most entertaining pagonging, but people were iffy on Worlds Apart. When you had that run of bad seasons from, I consider Nicaragua still a bad season. I rewatched it. I didn't like it, but I'll just consider it there. That's a different point. Redemption Island, South Pacific, One World. The problem with all four of those is they were so predictable. And I think that this completely takes away any predictability. I think that now, if you have a pregame alliance going in and you end up on the same tribe as them at the beginning, you're like, oh, great, now I can have the numbers. And then all of a sudden it goes to 3 tribes and you end up on a tribe without, and you don't have your closest ally pregame. All of a sudden pregame alliances are kind of hurt a little bit. So I really do like this. I think that this is a great move by Survivor, and I think that it'll play out really interesting. I think that it would be pretty shocking if it played out poorly. It might screw some people over and make people mad, but I would be shocked if it didn't play out entertaining and add a lot of intensity to the game.
Yeah, overall, I'm excited to see it play out. I did say this before, though. It could. I mean, the problem with it is that people can get really screwed over.
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's like a really, really weak team that just gets made random. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if there's going to be a draft. It's most likely they're going to pick a buff or an egg or something. It's going to be random,
and that's going to be intense.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather see a draft or have it be random?
I would rather it be random, to be honest. I think that random at that point, it's too early in the game, and I think that if you go based on a draft, then you're almost revealing who the pregame alliances were a little bit. And I hate also in the drafts, you can't really do a draft in this situation, because a lot of times what'll happen is it's normally 2 tribes that are just swapping. And they'll be like, okay, Willie, you're on one tribe, I'm on the other tribe. Willie, you pick somebody from Phil's tribe. Phil, you pick somebody from Willie's tribe, and then go that way. A lot of times they do that.
That could still happen.
Well, no, now because now you have 3 tribes.
Right. Okay. So let's say
one of the tribes going to run out before the other.
So no. Okay. This is what you do. You have 2 people on Takeo, one on Bayonne, and then the first Takeo person
I guess
goes.
You could, but yeah, they still can do that.
It would still, if you have 18, it's going to be 666 anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is, this is what I hope doesn't happen, and it very well might, is that like you have, let's say there's 2 tribes of 9, they make it so it's 3-3, 3-3, 3-3.
I don't like that. Yeah. See, I like random better, and I think that's kind of what happens.
But the thing is, I feel like the 3-3-3 is more likely to happen with a draft than it is, because it's going to be set up that way.
And that's what I'm saying.
So that's why you like random.
I'm rooting for random over draft, because I always like when it's like, they smash an egg on them, and it's the Marquesas thing, like where it was like they stood on the disc and they flipped it over and it was like, holy crap, now these tribes are completely changed. And you end up having, you get the tribes, you start rooting for that, the tribe with Pascal and Nalia, because they're such underdogs against this other powerhouse. And like, it's always fun to see when that type of stuff happens. And it also allows for people who are in no power position, they can turn into bigger power players like that, as opposed to a draft. It's kind of harder to wiggle your way in because people are picking you, and if you're picked last, you're in a little bit of trouble. I mean, look what happened in Cagayan when Spencer, Tasha, and Cass went from the worst tribe to they're in the most power in the whole game.
Yeah. How do you feel if there's a draft, but there's no limits, do you think, because all these players know each other so well already, and presumably this is going to be at 18, so there's only been 2 tribal councils. You've only been with this tribe for 6 days. You already know the whole cast. You've seen them play. What if Jeff's like, all right, 3 captains at random, and then you can draft whoever you want. So you can pick someone from the tribe to start.
I like that. That's Gabonish. I like that because, like, I just remember back in Gabon at the beginning of the game when they were like, all right, just pick whoever the hell you want. As many guys you want, as many girls you want, just pick. And I like that. I thought that was a really interesting way to start the game, and I think that would be a really interesting way to do this. It's almost random because then they're saying you don't have to take – even if they – I know that they probably even it up girls and guys, but if there's an odd number of girls and guys at that point in the game and they say you can take any girls or any guys, it's always fun to see what tribe turns out to be the strongest and what tribe turns out to be the weakest, and, you know, who picks along gender lines, who picks along, like, alliance lines. It's always interesting to see that. So I'd be down with that.
I'm just thinking, let's say, okay, Jeff says, you know, Takeo or whatever, one person from Takeo is the first captain. What are the chances that that person is going to pick someone from Bayonne? They're probably pretty small, though. So,
well, whatever happened to the days, because they don't really do it anymore. What happened to the days when they used to, I guess Palau started like this, where if I pick, whoever I pick makes the next pick, and whoever they pick makes the next pick. Like, they don't do that. When was the last time they did that, though?
I just think we haven't seen a draft in so long. I think that would still be the process that you'd use. It wouldn't be one person. That's what I was assuming if a draft did happen. But I do have a pretty good feeling it's going to be random.
Yeah, I'm thinking random too.
Because when's the last time we've had a draft? If anyone in the comments wants to let us know, where not to start the game, but just a draft in general for tribes. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Like in Gabon, was that where they ranked them? You had to stand on like a ranking, and then you drafted based on.
That was cool because that was when Bob was ranked 3rd on his tribe and got picked last.
Yeah, and then he won the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on this dissolve? I mean, it's gonna. There's another twist that we can talk about. Well,
I was just gonna onto one of the comments real quick. Total Drama Survivor fan says, I think the 3rd tribe will begin at 18, then at 16 they'll go back to 2 tribes, then at 12 they merge. Jeff did say that they're going to try to keep them on their toes as much as they can, so that would be kind of crazy. I mean, that might be too much switching it up, but in in that interview, Jeff did say that they're going to try to keep it as mixed up as they can. So that would be kind of crazy. Not far-fetched for that to happen, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen a merge from 3 tribes before, ever.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
It's all about when they go back. So if it's 18, I'd rather see it at 14. Kind of like let the 3 tribes hang out a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, that seems to be the theme this season. I mean, it's second chance, but they're keeping everybody guessing the entire game.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on the dissolve twist?
No.
It helps our prop bet game with the bag of buffs for sure.
Oh yeah, now somebody's gonna catch them, right?
I mean, we're gonna have 2 at the start, and then we're gonna have 3, and then they might even go back to 2, and that's 2 more, and then there's a merge.
Oh yeah.
So there's gonna be lots of opportunity to catch a bag of buffs.
Absolutely.
Okay, so another twist is that after the first challenge, the challenge is gonna be Quest for Fire, the first challenge ever in Survivor history, and that needs to be done at night. So there's going to be no time before Tribal Council after the immunity challenge. And this is a pretty big deal. Players are going to be scrambling. They're not going to know who to vote for. And this just goes along with what Jeff is saying, and it seems like a really big theme this season. We're going to throw anything and anything at you. Yes, you have to be ready for just everything. Just so many twists.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be that's going to be really fun to watch. And I know Jeff's really pumped about this because he gets to yell at Wigglesworth that it's her second chance to do this, competition. She never, she lost it the first time. Will she win it this time? But I love this. And this is one of those things I used to love back in the early days of Survivor, when they would sit down at Tribal Council, do a challenge, and then vote right after. There's no thinking, it's just do it now. And this is going to happen really early in the game. So you better have scrambled early. Otherwise, you're in trouble. You're really screwed. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you think players are going to kind of see this coming, though? Because, man, okay, this challenge is at night.
Yeah.
Tribal, I think, needs to be today. It's the third day. I'm sure that's going to go through some people's minds, and they might be more prepared than we think. I'm sure no matter what, that they'll edit it as, oh my God, I was blown away. But savvy players are going to say, well, wait a second, this challenge is happening at night. We got to be covered for this.
I think it's just going to come down to which players are actually players, and whichever people are actually there playing the game, they're going to sit there and go, even if it's day 2 and they say they're putting us in an immunity challenge on day 2 at night, we're going to go to tribal tonight. Like, they have to be thinking it's coming, and it's going to come down to who's thinking in terms of gameplay and who's not thinking in terms of gameplay. Will Wigglesworth figure it out? Probably not. People like Shireen, Steven, Cass, they're going to figure it out. Like, I think that they're going to know, and it's going to be funny to see which people plan for it and which people don't, or if everybody just figures it out, because it'd be kind of interesting if a lot of people didn't figure it out, and then they end up going to the tribal without really knowing what the hell they're doing.
I mean, no matter what, that's what we're going to be shown, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not going to have, Jeff is going to be like, and then you have to go directly to tribal. And everyone just goes, oh, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's jaw is going to drop, and we're going to get confessionals. I had no idea that was coming. I felt so, vulnerable. I didn't talk with anybody. That's what we'll see, but there's definitely going to be some people prepared for it.
Exactly.
And I think
that we might even – what was that?
I mean, I think that's going to decide who goes home, is who kind of had a plan already.
Yeah, and I think what's going to end up happening is whoever is going to be our winner, or somebody who goes really deep in this game, they're going to get a confessional that shows them in a good light here, going like, hey, I knew this was coming. And that's going to be like one of your first hints at like, hey, this person might be the winner of the game, or this person might go far. Because I have a feeling they're going to do, like you said, the most shocking moment in Premier history. And then it's going to be, wait, but this person knew it. And why are they showing this person to be so savvy? Well, because they're going to go far in the game, or because they want to show them more positively, more as a strategist. I think that might be one of our first hints at a winner.
If the winner, indeed did figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But even somebody who just goes deep in the game, I mean, if they show somebody positively like that, I mean, they're doing it for a reason, because they're going to want the jaw-dropping reactions more. And
production wants their twist to like have a really big impact on the players. They want those big reactions. So, it makes them look good. We got them. They're veteran players. They got voted on. They're favorites, and we still got them,
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Anything else more on this tribal twist? I mean, we've seen it a bunch. Just for the first tribal council, it's a pretty, it's kind of a gut punch, just boom. And I think it's just to get the players ready to be ready for more twists, and that anything can happen this season.
I'm going to be honest. I think that the producers were ready for some sort of pregame alliances to happen, and they're doing everything in their power to make sure that they don't take over the game. And I also think that I think they're taking a lot of chances here, because they know that the cast is obviously liked because we voted them in. And I think that they're willing to take more chances with stuff that might not work this season than in other seasons, because they'll be like, well, people are still going to like the cast, and they're still going to stick around, and they're still going to be talking about it. Whereas if it's an all newbie season and they try something new and it doesn't work out right, people might stop talking about it, or stop watching, or say, oh, that was the stupidest thing ever. Here, I think they're willing to take more risks on the production end, because they know who they're working with, and they know that the audience is going to be there no matter what.
That's a really good point, because we are seeing a lot of stuff we just haven't seen before. And you might think, we have this great cast. It's the first time fans have been able to vote players in. It's already got a lot of stuff going for it already. And now it just keeps coming out that we have more and more things that we haven't seen before. So that's definitely a great observation, and makes a lot of sense. I think we should just get to it now.
The biggest one.
The idols.
I mean, this one is huge, and I want to talk.
Two.
Yeah, there's two, and I want to talk about the challenge thing first, because that is like huge. I mean, that's going to be awesome. I mean, the idols this season are going to be hitting at the challenges. And the way Jeff explained it is somebody's going to be able to find a clue to the idol at their camp, and they're going to know exactly where it is at the challenge. It's just going to be a matter of, do you have what it takes to go and find it and sneak it and do it in front of your entire tribe without putting a target on your back? Yeah, and that's going to be awesome.
And like while you're competing and trying to win the challenge.
Yeah.
Because if you get, and these are not reward challenges, they are immunity challenges, which makes it even a bigger deal. If you're kind of, preoccupied trying to pick up an idol, and your teammates are like, get your head in the game and you cost them the challenge, then you're going to tribal. It's not like, oh, we lost the reward. So it's even bigger stakes.
And is there anybody who you think is going to get completely screwed by this? Because I can just see one person being like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the challenge. I'm in the challenge, looking around, looking for the idol." Who do you think it's going to be? Because there's one person I think might really get stuck with this. Maybe it's just because I don't like him, but
yeah, I don't know about getting stuck with this because you do have to go actively find the clue. And then we also need to talk about the other part of the twist. And I've read a lot of people saying, I like one part of the twist, but not the other. They kind of go hand in hand. That idols aren't going to all look the same. In every season, there's been kind of very standard looking idol. It just looks kind of like
different colors, or
yeah, it's some emblems, whether it be snakes or a medallion or just something looking very tribal. Now idols can be anything. They can be sticks, they can be fabric, they can be, it can literally be anything. And this makes it, I think, the challenge part work. I think you can't have really one without the other. Because if you have a normal looking idol at the challenge, people are going to see it and say, hey, that looks exactly like an idol. I have to pick that up, whether you have a clue or not.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you get the clue. The idol is going to be exactly here. It's a rock or something. And so I think, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that in general, like having anything be an idol, because then it's like the whole, once the word gets out, it's like everyone remaining in the game will have a fake idol just because anything can be an idol.
But that's what production wants, though, because they love that drama of having think about how many great moments we've had because of fake idols. Randy getting voted out, Jason with the stick, Jamie getting voted out. Like, they love fake idols. And so they want this to happen.
But those all happened without having this rule in. And I think what makes those so cool is that there are no, like, Bob made such a good idol that it tricked Randy.
But
like, that's what made it cool. But now it's like, you need to have no skill. You can just say, oh yeah, found the stick, definitely.
Well, not for nothing. Eliza still did play the idol, even though she knew it wasn't real. She did play it. But what I'm saying here is
nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose there. It's not like it took any.
Yeah. All of a sudden, though, now with these idols looking like anything, you try to go and convince me that rock is an idol, and I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm not an idiot. I'm literally looking at you going, this is a fucking rock. Like, that's what's going to happen there. Like, that is, so it's like now, like, it's going to be harder to convince people that you have a real idol as opposed to, a fake. And I don't think it's going to be like, oh, that rock over there. I think, like, it's going to be distinct, but it's going to be different. And I like this twist because it almost reminds me of in China, where half of them were idols and half of those things weren't idols.
Yeah, I like that better, for sure. Like, what I'm saying is I like this twist because it's the only way to make the challenge thing work. Because you can't have, normal looking idols hanging around challenges without someone noticing. And you don't want that to happen. I love the idea that you get the clue, you know where it is. It's about getting it and securing it without anybody noticing during a competition. That's what's so cool about it. And they need to have them look like anything or that wouldn't work. So I think that's where I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it on this season. But let's say, season 35, the idols are like, you find them in camp, but they look like anything. Then I'm a little like,
yeah, then I agree. But I think that this is going to work. I think that this could play out very, very well this season. And I like this idea. I think this is a good risk to take on this season because you have people who are so desperate to stay in the game that they might be willing to just walk up in front of everybody and pick up something that everybody's like, what the hell did he just do?
Yeah, but it just gets back. At some point, it's like, when's it end? And I don't see how everyone's going to say, like, yeah, I have a – unless you get – I'm sure you get a piece of paper with the idol, or do you just get the clue?
I think you have to. I think that there has to – unless the clue is literally telling you exactly what it is, they would have to say it's the fourth rod from the right. That's your thing. Otherwise, it's going to have some little piece of paper that says you found the idol.
But that's what it sounds like, doesn't it? That you're going to get a clue telling you exactly where it is.
And I still think that they're going to tell you that you found it. Otherwise, because I think it's going to be something that could be multiple ones, like something like that. So I think that it is going to be something that gets,
See, but if they give you a piece of paper with it that says this is the idol, then doesn't that negate anything about a fake? Like, then you can just, if you don't have one of those pieces of paper, then the person's lying.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they won't then.
So I feel like if the clue is really, really specific, and that's what it sounds like. I mean, from what I'm hearing, that it's not the clue isn't about, maybe, it's not gonna be like a thing that rhymes. That's kind of letting you know where it is. Maybe it's
Yeah.
here, maybe it's here. Leading, it sounds like no. This is where it is. This is what it is, and this is where you're gonna find it. Like exactly.
Yeah.
I could be wrong here, and I mean it easily could rhyme also. I don't think it's going to be like a subtle look to the sky and then to the tree, and the idol will be at the level of your knee. Like not something that kind of where you have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but I think that whatever it is, I'm going to be interested no matter what the first time it plays out. This is something that I'm excited for, and I think could be really cool. And if it plays out like crap, I forgive them because it was a good idea. It was a good idea here. So I like where their head's at here. I mean, maybe it doesn't work in season 35, but on season 31, it might work out perfect. So I'm okay with it.
Oh no, I'm okay with this. Them trying it, and there's a lot of questions I have. Like, is there going to be a new clue every single challenge? So let's say you find a clue, and you go to a new challenge, and you don't find it. You're not able to get it. It's pretty much, is that void completely?
I don't know. Maybe there's another question on here.
Do they
Giovanni,
just toss out the idol and then say, bad, too bad. You got to find the next clue for the next challenge.
Yeah, and Cole Jordan says, do you know if they do the hidden immunity idol twist even after the merge? I mean, that would be something where now all of a sudden, if it's a completely individual game, I mean, how far are they going to go with this? Is it going to be something that one challenge it's there, the next challenge is something completely different, and everything that you worked for is almost for naught? And I feel like that's not going to be the case at all. I feel like it's going to be the same thing at multiple challenges. But are they going to do it after the merge, you think? Like, do you think that they keep it going that deep in the game, or you think this is strictly when the teams are competing against each other? Because in an individual game, it's a lot less sketchy if you just walk over to something and start digging or something, because people are going to be like, oh, maybe, like, well, I don't care what he's doing, really. I'm going to beat him. When it's a team thing, it's way more stressful and people are way more on you.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they did after the merge. Especially, I mean, how many times can they do? Let's say they do, what, like 8 challenges, immunity challenges before the merge. Does that mean, well, let's say 5 are I mean, does that mean there can be 5 idols out there? Like, I'm not exactly sure on the logistics. So let's say someone finds the idol in episode 2 at the challenge, and then episode 4 someone finds one, and both have yet to been played. I guess we're at 3 tribes at this one, and then the next 2 challenges, people. I mean, then you have 4 idols. I don't know if they're going to re-hide them or they're going to have one for each challenge. There's a lot up in the air about it.
Yeah, and I mean they gotta assume somebody's gonna find the clue before each challenge too. So it's like, they might hide a new one at each challenge, but somebody might not have found the clue. So
right,
who knows?
The good thing is they will know if someone found the clue.
Oh yeah,
they have cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
They're filming a TV show actually.
Believe it or not, it's not real life.
It's pretty crazy to think that just, I guess it was season 19 Samoa, where you would get a clue to an idol and then you would have to find the idol, and the clue would be some type of reward. Now and then Russell started looking for idols without clues and finding them. And that became kind of the normal. There's not even clues anymore. It took a while. They would still give out clues, but people just started to say, hey, I'm going to just look for the idol. And that pretty much became the standard. Now it's going so far, like you can look, you're getting clues that you didn't even have clues to, where idols usually would be placed. So I like that part, at least, that you can't just walk in the woods and then you're finding an idol.
I agree, and I think that
it was getting ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was, and this will take away a lot of the random luck of just finding an idol. And now all of a sudden you actually have to work for it. I mean, yeah, great, you found the clue to the idol where the idol probably would have been any other season, but now you got to actually go work and find a way to get this idol. We're not making it easy for you anymore.
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't easy before, but it was just hard to visualize during a TV episode. 'Cause let's say Mike, when he found that idol last season, let's say he spent 5 hours every day looking through every single tree. I mean, that's just not good television to watch that. And even if it looks hard, it's like how much. And then they even gave Mike a lot of time, saying I worked so hard for this, and it became like, dude, it looked like it took you 5 minutes. It's just hard to kind of cover how hard it is. But now it's saying, look, it is here at the challenge, and the audience kind of knows exactly the goal and where it is, and it makes it way more clear that it's a difficult task.
Yeah, I agree. This is one I'm really excited for. I like this hidden immunity thing. When I heard this one, I was excited for it.
We also have Joe on this season too, who made a baller fake idol last season that probably would have fooled Mike if he didn't have one himself.
Yeah.
And then this season, anything really goes. So Joe is someone who is a huge threat. I feel like if he gets wind that idols look different, he's going to make about 5 fake idols.
Oh, yeah. I agree. He might show a different one to each person.
Right. I just hope it doesn't become kind of absurd where oh, I have this leaf. It's an idol. And then you play it and Jeff says this is an idol. It's just like, I hope it's not absurd, because
I don't think it will be. I mean, if you think about every change that Survivor's made, they've honed them in like when they had to. And yeah, they'll go for like some big moves and stuff, but there's never anything where you're like, "Oh my god, this has just gotten to the point of, hey, look, his twin was in the game the whole time and it was actually 2 people competing." Isn't that what Big Brother just did? I think that's what Big Brother just did.
Really?
But,
I'm
yeah.
not aware.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, they don't do anything that's so overblown. I think that they'll manage to hone it in at least a little.
I think the haves and have-nots was a little ridiculous.
That was the worst thing they ever did. But
Like,
they
that
learned
was
from that. They
just-
never did it again.
Right. I mean, that was, and then the have-nots just lost every challenge, and Jeff's like, why can't you guys get it together? It's like, well, maybe the other tribe has everything and we have nothing.
And still Gary Papa Smurf finds a way to pass out, and it's like, wow, he passed the health thing. How the hell did that happen? He was at the Habs camp. Like, how does that happen? He was living like a normal life still. Jesus. All right, speaking of food, let's go on to I guess, what would be the last big twist here?
Yeah, it's not a big twist. It's just kind of
It's
the
not big.
starting. They love doing things with the rice in the beginning of the game. This has been a trend. We saw it on Cagayan, Worlds Apart, and now Season 31. It's not the same type of thing, but it is with rice. I guess they start on a big boat with supplies, and they have to take as much as they can off the boat in, I think, a minute. But there's also another boat that has rice on it. So you have to and there's only one container of rice. So you have to beat the other tribe to that rice, but you also don't want to, lose out on all the goods on the boat. This twist is a little harder for us to say, is this going to be really fun? Is it not? I mean, I feel like when you're hopping off the boat with supplies anyway, it's always intense and it's always exhilarating. I don't know how much this adds to it. It's probably going to be pretty cool, though. I can't see it like being a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a bad thing. I always love the maroonings. I love when they throw them off and they have to swim the shore. I don't really like when they come in on the trucks and they show up to the mat and then walk to your place. Like, I like this because you get to see the tribes right away. Like, it's putting them in some sort of competition mode right away. It's not going to be quite on the level of Micronesia where they found the idols, or Nicaragua where they found the idols and made them captains, or whatever, or they had whatever it was. What did they do in Nicaragua? Somehow they found it was the Medallion of Power. That's the worst thing they ever did. That's actually worse than the
have-nots is way worse.
The
Way
Medallion
worse.
Okay. Well, either way, they're both atrocious.
I didn't mind them.
Anyway, but it's not going to be as intense as in Micronesia, to me, is the best one where they all swim out and they have to find the idols. And when Johnny Fairplay found it or something, and then Yao-Man pushed him out of the way and grabbed the right one. Like, that was cool because that's actually being able to save yourself for one. This is obviously you're getting food for the tribe, so it'll still be cool. It won't be quite on that level, but I think that it definitely adds to the opening of the show. And I always like when they do these because I think this is so much more fun. Best opening the show's ever had is Heroes versus Villains, I think, when they start off right at a challenge. Like, you put them right in a competitive thing. They didn't get to talk to each other yet. They're just showing up and they're doing something competitive and having to work together. That's way cooler than just showing up on a map and walking over to your beach.
Hi, Jeff. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, now you guys are going to walk. Oh, we bonded so much, but we didn't get to see any of it.
We're the better tribe, I think. You guys are going down.
Yeah. I'm going to go make myself some sandwiches, No. I don't know. I think that this is cool. I'm curious to see like who actually takes the lead and stuff, and I'm glad to see that we're back to an old school marooning because those are so much fun.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's not going to be a game changing thing, but it's an exciting way to start.
Get you pumped for it feels like Survivor. You know?
Yeah, it does. They said they're in. This is, I guess, another not so much a twist, but even more information that's come out is that I think all the challenges are going to be repeats, which I don't know. I'm not stoked about. There are challenges I love, but seeing a new challenge that no one's done before is always fun as well. So I don't really care all that much, but I mean, it will be funny to see some challenges where people completely messed up on. Like if they do the bag challenge with Abby Maria, where you flip things over and you run back and forth, and she just didn't know what she was doing. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to like tailor challenges to like one character or one castaway gets a challenge. If that makes sense.
They did the same thing in All Stars, where they did that, where it was like, hey, this person competed in this and they won. Maybe this time they're gonna, and I mean, it was great in All Stars when they did the fish thing with Boston Rob and his brother came out and ate it or whatever. Like there are some cool moments that come from this. I mean, there's not gonna be anything cool that comes from Quest for Fire. I hate to tell you, other than the fact that Tribal is gonna be right after it. Quest for Fire is a boring challenge. Like it's not that cool.
Yeah, the end it's dark and they like run into the woods and you can't really even see what's going on. Jeff has to call out. I mean, it's cool that they're doing a homage to season 1. That's awesome. And you have Kelly Wigglesworth, the only season 1 player.
You think they can find a cliff that they can all jump off of like they did in Australia? Because that was a cool
I love that challenge.
Was a great challenge.
I just feel like they can't do that anymore, like with liability.
Yeah, like safety issues. The fact that Roger Bingham didn't drown during that challenge is still unbelievable to me.
How high was that rock? It wasn't like crazy high.
It was huge.
Was it what, 80 feet?
It had to have been. It was a cliff dive. Like, I mean, they were up there.
I love jumping off rocks. Very fun. Yeah. Okay. Just wear shoes when you do it. That's important.
Of course. All right. Well, what else do we have here? I mean, you want to talk Jeff Varner? He in his thing where he was shocked that Shane didn't make the what do you call it, the cast, he was saying that he had a pregame alliance with him. But Jeff Varner has a pregame alliance with pretty much everybody, Willie.
It sounds like there are two. I mean, I'm sure there are more than two, but it sounds like from what Jeff Varner was saying is that there are two different alliances, and he's kind of got his foot in both of them. So depending on what tribe he's on, he's going to be good. And he might even bring, let's say, half of one alliance and half of the other end up on one tribe. I guess we can look at it now because we know the tribes. He may be like the ringleader and might bring people together. The first one he mentioned, and this is the one Shane mentioned in his interview with Rob, was that, he had 3 other people. They were super tight. And it was, I'm fairly certain, I might have to rewatch this. Maybe you can correct me. One of them for sure was Vetus. And then I think Kelly Wigglesworth for sure, one of them.
Yeah, Kelly Wigglesworth was for sure.
And then Terry. But that's 4. And Shane was talking about that he had 3. So I'm not sure which person Shane would exclude from that 4.
I would assume – I would probably guess Kelly Wigglesworth, to be honest. But I could definitely see why that would be an alliance there. I mean, that's old guys and old school, and Vetus is his brother. I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah, so let's assume that Kelly wasn't in there to start, and that 4 Shane kept referring to was Shane, Jeff, Vetus, and Terry. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now Kelly has kind of replaced Shane. So that's kind of a 4. And then Jeff also said he was good with the kind of younger new generation players in Spencer, Kelly Wentworth, and Shireen. Was there anyone else in there? I think
there was somebody else, but I can't remember who. There was definitely one more person in there. But it's funny that Jeff is like the middleman in all of this. Like, it kind of speaks to how he played, like, in Australia, where he was really devious, but we didn't get to see enough of him. And I'm hoping that he comes out and plays just as devious. And it seems like he was playing super hard before he even got on the island.
Yeah, it sounds like it might bite him in the butt a little bit, that he was kind of best friends with everybody. And so he might be a very early boot, especially because he's not that strong in challenges.
Yeah, that was me yawning. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's late over here on the East Coast, Sorry. I'm yawning.
You'll be joining the West Coast very soon.
Very soon. In fact, I don't know. We have much more to say here. Not really, right?
Yeah, this will kind of be a shorter one. We're just kind of. And are there comments with any questions or anything?
No, we pretty much covered all of them.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much next week. We might do one Monday or Tuesday if we can fit it in. After that, I'll be driving for 5 days, so I won't be able to do one late next week. So look for us either Monday or Tuesday if we do one. Probably be, I don't know. What are you thinking? I mean, I don't even know what we would do.
All these interviews about the players are coming out. I think they're going to release. It seemed like what they did last year, the Xfinity preseason interviews. So maybe we can just do kind of a recap of the ones that come out. Just because I feel like at this point we don't want to be ranking first boot players because the off season is over. This is officially the preseason. Once the cast videos maybe all come out, I just think there's a lot to talk about with the upcoming season, and that's what people want to hear. We already did kind of rankings throughout the other parts of the offseason. So I think we should stick to season 31 stuff unless people are getting sick of it, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, they probably were going to get sick of it, but now that all this new stuff comes out, people want to talk about it and all that. So I don't know. Maybe look for us next week. If not, definitely the week after that, we'll definitely do something. I mean, we might not get any new information before.
Oh, I think we will.
You think so? Because I know normally they release it so sporadically. It's so random how they release it. So
it seems like, okay, so this week they released a lot, and now it's kind of I think the ball's rolling, and it's just going to be kind of a snowball effect, and it's just going to be a little more every day, and then by the end of next week, a week from now, we're going to be sitting having a whole new load of information to talk about,
which would be cool. I mean, who knows? There could be even more twists coming up, which would be.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like there's going to be twist after twist. It's kind of a parody of Twist. It's called twisting. They're twisting all the twists even.
Yeah, but you know what? It could make for a really fun season. I mean, it's already a fun idea of a season, and it seems like they're trying to keep it as fun as they can. And I think that the amount that they're doing is just going to create for a very intense, very entertaining early game, which we don't normally always get. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. Last season we got it, and then the rest of the season was But, it doesn't happen all the time. So
right.
This could be really cool.
And I think what you were kind of saying, how a lot of these twists here early are to diminish pregame alliances. That's kind of the idea behind a lot of them. And once the game gets going and you're on a tribe and you're competing and you're meeting new people and you're just living with them, a lot of those kind of pregame deals just kind of fall to the side, and you got to play your own game.
Jeff said that a lot of the producers really worry about it, and he said if they can get into the game, get through the whole tribal phase and through the whole individual phase and end up at the end with their pregame alliance, more power to them because somehow they did it. Like he said, once you're actually playing the game, so much other stuff happens. There's so many variables. There's no way you can keep intact an alliance of somebody that you haven't even talked to yet since you've been on the island.
Right. And let's say you and I somehow, I mean, this is completely hypothetical. You and I both end up out there and it's a 20-person start, 2 tribes of 10. And let's say we're on the same tribe. You have 2 out of 8, there's 8 other players on your tribe. So having 2 isn't even that powerful.
Yeah, it's really not. And I think
we even had an alliance of 3 or 4, the chances that they all end up in the same tribe are just so low.
Yeah.
And, I don't think it will play a huge role, especially with this, immediate tribal council and the tribe dissolve at we think most likely 18. So I don't think it will be a big deal. It's still kind of interesting to talk about because it will kind of give us insight on what the players' goals are and how the players want to play the game. Yeah. But I don't think we should take anything too seriously.
I agree. But it'll be interesting to see if any of them play out. Maybe at the end in the reunion, person who wins it sits next to second place and says, yeah, we had a pregame alliance, and somehow, it wasn't even mentioned in the show. It just happened,
Well, it won't be shown on TV. That's
obviously, yeah, they can't do that. They'd be screwed. But,
Okay, I guess last thing here, prop bet game. If you haven't gotten your list in, I guess now is just a better time to do it. If you waited, it's smart to do it now. I did hear, I think one of the bets has been spoiled. I don't know which one. Someone posted that on Reddit that if you look at the comments, a lot of them are the same. So we might have to just kind of give everybody points for that. I don't know how we're going to deal with that. It depends how many people do it. I still haven't even looked at which one it is.
I have no idea what you're talking about even.
So supposedly one of our prop bets, like you can already know one. I don't know how, because there hasn't even been a trailer yet. Unless you're looking into deep spoilers, and we really hope no one's doing that here. So, and it's one bet out of 20. So even if you know it,
Yeah,
I don't know.
We might get the rest wrong.
cheaters never win.
Yeah,
Right,
and
yeah,
winners never cheat.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't think that's true either.
Okay, and yeah, I think we have about 100 entries there. So I think we're at two. I think we're in the 2 buff range. If you want to get an extra buff, tell your other Survivor friends to make a bet list and take their chance of getting a buff. Anything else, Phil?
No, look for us early next week. If not, we'll tweet about it. We'll let you know. But hopefully we get some cool season 31 stuff.
Yeah, this week was huge. Probably can't compare. Next week
true.
can't rival this week. But thank you for listening / watching, and we'll see you soon.